When you look at the one thing that would prove the globe Earth...
I want to start out with a warning this morning. You may experience cognitive dissonance this morning. I want you to try to hang on. Do not shut me off. Do not tune me out. Listen to me. Give me a chance to explain myself. And then be a Berean. Okay? Don't reject it. Don't accept it. Study it. Find out for yourself.
Imagine prisoners that have spent their entire lives chained deep inside a cave. They have been chained so that they cannot see behind themselves, and they are forced to stare endlessly at the cave wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire is burning, and between the prisoners and the fire is a raised walkway. Now imagine that each day, a menagerie of objects crosses the walkway. Animals, and people carrying their wares to market. Their shapes create an intricate shadow play on the wall in front of the prisoners. This is the only world that the prisoners have ever known.
Tremendous television coverage as man's first landing on the moon. Thousands of technicians around the world have been working for many, many months to ensure that people at home, in front of their own television screens, will receive the highest quality pictures. They will ensure, in fact, that man's first landing on the moon will be the greatest show on Earth.
Prime Minister, we weren't allowed to take a sound camera into the tracking station for technical reasons. What did you say to the staff in the tracking station here at Honeysuckle Creek?
Well, I asked them what all the little wiggly green lines were and what the various noises coming out of bits and pieces of the equipment were, and got answers which I wouldn't pretend thoroughly to understand. I think perhaps the best way of saying what I felt when I was in there was that I was blinded by science.
Prior to the space age, the blue ball in space had similarly dwelt in the theoretical realm. The classroom and cinema had only guessed at what she looked like.
Overview effect. The idea is that if we pull back far enough from the Earth, we can see the entirety of our planet as a beautiful and fragile home, and be inspired to protect it. Until 1972, that image of a fully illuminated Earth could only be imagined. But then, astronauts aboard Apollo 17 captured it on film, a photograph that's become known as the Blue Marble. But could a photograph really change the fate of our planet? The Blue Marble is one of the world's best-known images, but the story of how it was taken and what it did and did not achieve might surprise you. In the 1960s, Americans began to wake up to the damage being done to the planet. Air and water pollution, sprawling development, devastating oil spills, and the threat of extinction. But what would inspire people to take action? One idea came from within San Francisco's counterculture movement, from a leading thinker named Stewart Brand.
Stewart Brand was one of the most important environmentalists of that period. In 1966, February, he dropped 100 micrograms of LSD on his tongue, went up to his rooftop in North Beach in San Francisco to take in the view. And he claimed he could see the curvature of the Earth.
Brand spent the rest of that acid trip trying to figure out how he could communicate this big idea to the world. His conclusion? We needed a photograph of the full Earth.
Next day goes to a local print shop and prints up hundreds of buttons with a really simple question: why haven't we seen a photograph of the whole Earth yet? And then he sends them to politicians in DC, politicians in the Soviet Union, scientists at NASA, And all of a sudden, within 3 months, the story goes that engineers and scientists at NASA had his buttons on their lapel pins.
You have probably seen this image, otherwise known as the Blue Marble, hundreds, if not thousands of times. It was taken almost 50 years ago, during the Apollo 17 mission, yet it is the only picture of the whole round Earth that was snapped by a human being. In order to see Earth as a globe, you have to be at least 32,000 kilometers away from it, and only 24 humans have ever gone that far into outer space. They were the crews of 9 Apollo missions between 1968 and 1972. But only 3 astronauts saw Earth as a perfectly round globe, since you have to be in a perfect position between Earth and the Sun.
Blue marble phenomenon affecting people all over the world, in every country, in every part of the world. Blue marble refers to the iconic image of the Earth in the first photograph of the whole complete Earth, cloudless, taken in the Apollo mission in 1972.
4 days later, the Earth image was released to the press and went viral.
It got published all over the world. In fact, the Boston Globe made it an entire front cover of their Christmas issue. And in the long term, this thing has gone into children's books and science textbooks and all kinds of places. So that single image really becomes an icon for what we conceive of as the Earth. And that's something that's set in our minds, I think, somewhat permanently.
Have you seen this image? Chances are the answer is yes.
The shadows and the echoes of unseen objects. Now, imagine that a prisoner is released. After some time adjusting to the blinding light, the freed prisoner will begin to experience the world outside of the cave for the very first time. And it is like nothing he could have ever imagined. With his new perception of the world, the man will of course want to return to his friends to share his incredible discoveries. But the prisoners cannot recognize their old friend. He appears as all things do. His voice is a distorted echo, and his body is a grotesque shadow. They cannot understand his fantastic stories of the world outside of the cave. To them, it will never exist. This, of course, does not make the world outside of the cave any less real.
The images you have, you find out about Ron.
That's not a real picture of Earth, and you know it.
It was taken with a real camera on a physical film developed in a darkroom, so it absolutely is a real picture of Earth. Now, and again, here is a bunch of measurements to back up what that picture claims.
The image you have of where you live. Is this the place you believe you are? If it is, I hope you take a closer look and see what it is you are looking at. One of NASA's most requested space photos. This view of Earth, known as the Blue Marble, was taken in 1972 from about 18,000 miles away as Apollo 17 was traveling to the moon. So I run across this in a 2019 National Geographic. And this is where they show us that we live. For many years I looked at this here and just saw the Blue Marble. I saw what they told me to see. Then you start questioning things and you start looking into all the images you have, you find out about Ron Simmons. Then you try to find something that's not Ron Simmons. And it brings you back to this picture here. And it's really crazy. Because now I see this as a piece of art. How do I do this? Guess I could try to explain to you 5 little Easter eggs. It's really much deeper than that. But these 5 seem to jump out. Start with what I'll call the magician, or Mickey and Fantasia. But here's his head. Got 2 arms. You even got a bit of magic running in between, and the body. That's pretty interesting to me. Little fuzzy, I guess. But it is what it is, I guess. And I've kept looking. Just a curious thing, looking around this thing. Then I run across this little guy right here. There's a mouth, even a nose, an eyeball, 2 ears, even got the shape of the head. Looks like a rabbit to me. Actually looks like that scared rabbit run across the avalanche.
Another avalanche breaks loose in Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. The snowboarder glides to safety, but the cameraman sees something else.
Oh my, tell me that rabbit survives.
I'm not betting on a rabbit when I see him go into that. You're looking at tons and tons of snow that is sliding down the mountain at speeds of probably 40 to 50 miles an hour. He is moving out of it, he's staying on top, and yes, he's able to clear the avalanche. It has to do with that great jumping ability of the rabbit.
I give that a 10. You get to 10.
What's really cool about that rabbit is he can just hop along the top of that avalanche.
This is what you're supposed to do if you're in an avalanche. The rabbit had the right idea. You know, you swim through it. You kick your arms and your legs to try to stay on top.
Talk about the luck of a rabbit's foot. Now you know what.
So you pull back and you're looking at this thing. You've done seen these 2 things. Then this guy jumps out at you. Come on, camera. Right there. A hand, an arm. What's this, a top coat? What did you see? Right in there. Face with a mustache. Could it be that man Hitler? I don't know. That's 3. That's pretty extreme. You know, they put Pluto in Pluto, right? Then you notice an eyeball here. Even a shut eye here, maybe. Because now you have a nose, a mouth, even got chin, even got hair. Does that look like Chewie? A wild man? A Bigfoot? And then you sit back here and now you got 3, 4. And then this guy pops out at you right here. Starts with his mouth going down to his chin. Is that an ear? And that's where his eye would be. Nose looks like he's wearing a headpiece. He even got a horned head. Imagine that. Just want you to take a minute here with me. And I'm going to move around this thing a little bit. See if you can see the things I see. See if any of them jump out at you. This is really an interesting picture. I think anyways. Because the more you delve into it, the more there is. I'm telling you, that a guy there kind of looked like King Kong or something to me. Or is this Esau and Nimrod with some extras added in just because they could? I don't know. I guess I'm going to leave it there. See if I even post this.
Illusion will be created so vast, so large that it escapes their perception. Those who see it will be thought of as insane.
So look me in the eyes, tell me what you see. Perfect paradise, tearing at the seams. I wish I could escape. I don't wanna fake it. Wish I could erase it. Make your heart believe, but I'm a bad liar.
Mann, mach wieder! Ich will Unreal Tournament spielen! Los! Ich sag's nicht noch einmal! Los! Schnelle Start! Jetzt geht's los! 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 Es lädt! Es lädt! Ich will nicht, dass es lädt! Wenn es lädt, dann muss man immer so lange warten!